character's name is Kitty Carey. She's a strong, feisty woman who knows what she wants. She travels to America to find a husband, and she finds this customs officer. She's completely in love with him until he cheats on her.
Bill is, it's hard to play somebody that can be looked at as a villain. He loves Kitty, but Carol catches his eye and he's swayed toward Carol. But he's a customs officer and he's very routine in his life, and Carol kind of changes all that, and by the end of the show his arc kind of goes into a more energetic and more free-spirited guy.
Her name is Carol. She longs to find a prince, like you dream about your whole life, like you read in the books. She talks about that in some of her songs. She finds Paul, and she's swept off her feet. He's everything that she thinks that she wants. And then she realizes later on in the show that what's really important wasn't there. That it's not always just the romance and the lovey-dovey kisses and stuff like that. So she grows a lot.
Adam is a very, one word I like to use to describe him is optimistic. He's also a dreamer. He has a few unfortunate turns, but in the end he discovers himself. He discovers who he truly is as a human being.
My character is Sue, and she's a lot like me. I relate to her a lot. She's really, she's fun and fun-loving. She's very smart and very analytical, and she doesn't want to deal with a lot of, extraneous BS. I love her spirit, and I love being able to infuse myself into her spirit every night.
All right, well, Ted is a wild one at the beginning. He's pretty reckless, and he likes to drink a lot, likes to party. Just a fun-loving guy. Now, as the show progresses, he's sobered more by life, so to speak. As they go off to war and he has a child, he grows up a little bit, and his relationship with Sue goes right along with that. They mature, and rather than it just be this fun, why not sort of fling, it turns into real, true love and more of a real-world relationship. And that's, I think, why they stay together and they're solid like that.
This is the first time that I've worked on something where it's like, okay, well, we're going to cut this and rearrange that, and okay, you're singing that now.
It's hard not knowing one day from the next what your next, if the show's going to change, if numbers are going to be cut, if, verses are going to be added.
We had songs that I'm singing with Kitty. I used to be singing with Carol, and so that's been kind of an interesting take on things, because you got to completely flip the song into another relationship and another idea.
But it's fun because you get, it's just about knowing you're originating the role.
It's really exciting because to have the opportunity to see how something develops when it's not set in stone when you first get it. It also makes you more free to make different choices.
That's probably been the most fun of this particular show in its originality, is that I feel like we actually get to bring what we want to our characters, and they take that and help us mold what we want in that character, and we bring ourselves to it as well.
Stafford's great.
He's what we call the Zen director.
He's a very laid-back, very imaginative and creative man, and he let us really find the characters for ourselves and then gave us notes. So it was really great to be able to find the character on my own and then be guided in the right direction.
He just goes with what he's given and takes it as it comes and uses it, really, and makes the best of it.
He was probably one of the most relaxed, calm directors I've ever worked with. Nothing bothers him. Something doesn't work, okay, we'll switch it to this.
When the stage was creaking, he just said, okay, great, well, use the creaks and make them part of the scene.
It's just so great, everything he says about just plunging in there, not just trying to get your toes wet, but just really diving in there.
He calls us all dear and friend.
He would always be like, "Dear Kitty,
Dear Kitty,
Lauren, oh dear Carol."
I was worried that when he just said Lisa that I did something bad.
I think we actually have a Stafford quote book going on.
He gives us constructive criticism while praising us. like like crazy. He loves everything and loves everyone and really cares about this project, and it shows. The Zen director.
David Loud, he's a trip.
I love David Loud.
David, he's great. He's a great guy. Brilliant. It's just been such an honor to work with somebody of his caliber. And
He is the most patient music director I think I've ever worked with. And he's so kind, and he's a genius.
I love David. I'm going to miss him very much. He's so talented, and just watching him change his harmonies on the spot, or having someone say, "Oh, you know, why don't you add her into his song?" and then just making up something right there, and it always sounds beautiful.
And he hears everything. Anything you're wrong at all, he hears it. He knows.
I couldn't have asked for anyone better to work with.
And Chris has been great too, because we all know dancing isn't my strong point.
Christopher is so much fun.
Also very patient with my dancing skills.
He's tried to make me a dancer.
Chris, I mean, they're all just great guys, and what's great about him, what makes him so wonderful is that he's a choreographer, but you can tell that he is a performer.
So kind, and if I wanted to practice something again and again, he would help me.
The staging with all of the numbers, from the pregnancy to all of the dancing, the creativity was just flying, and he was a huge part of that, and so much fun to work with.
And he's been so great to work with. Never made me feel like I couldn't do anything, even though I know very well that I couldn't.
He really choreographs in a way that makes total sense and is so legit in the show, and it's not just dancing for dancing. Everything makes sense.
It's been a long time since I've worked with a team, and it's not just Stafford. It's Stafford and David and Chris and Ed, and Pat. It's been so hands-on and so willing to let us be unafraid to do what we want to do, and to create an environment that's so comfortable and that's so conducive to taking risks.
My favorite song.
Favorite song?
In the show? God.
Oh,
I love a lot of the songs.
I think "In the Heart of the Dark." I think that is my favorite.
I have two favorites. There's Kurt's song, "I've Taken Such a Fancy." It's hot.
I guess altogether it would be "I've Taken Such a Fancy to You."
I'd like to meet you somewhere in a quiet spot. I'd like to tell you what a great idea I got. I'd like to gaze into your pretty eyes. I'd like to, well, I'll lead you to some nice fancy.
And Lee says, "Oh, the rain goes pitter patter till the clouds roll by." That's gorgeous. I love that song.
April Fooled Me is the most beautiful piece and poignant and colorful piece of music. The imagery in it and the melody and just everything about it is really stuck with me as one of the most beautiful pieces in the whole show.
It was not really spring or
favorite song is at the end of the show, or towards the end, when the women are singing "Till the Clouds Roll By" and the guys are singing "Look for the Silver Lining."
The raining sequence that goes from like silver lining at the end of the show. I just think it's gorgeous the way it blends together and creates the illusion of the rain.
It brings us all together and separate also, because we find out who we are individually, but then we really find out who we're meant to be with.
This has just been such an awesome way. It's not my last experience at Catholic, because I'm going to be here for another year, but it's my last experience with a group of people who I have grown up with, and I've gotten to do a show with my best friends. It's just such an indescribable amount of grace that brought us here, and that brought us all together, and that made this entire thing happen. And it's just one of those experiences that makes you fully realize that life does not exist in a vacuum, and that everything, I mean, truly everything happens for a reason, and everything's interconnected. And the fact that we've gotten from point A to, point X, I hope there's still a Y and a Z, has just been this beautiful journey, and I'm so blessed that I got to be a part of it.
Okay, the lens cap is off. You need to put that back on.